We're back at Pittodrie as Aberdeen look to bounce back after last week's shocker against Dundee United. Up next, it's Hearts. Kick-off at Pittodrie is at 3 o'clock. Let's put today's game into context. So if Motherwell win, obviously that will take them level with points with us. But we can today go forth with a game in hand if we beat Hearts later this afternoon. Pittodrie yesterday was looking rather splendid under the sun. These pictures come courtesy of head groundsman David Nicholson. Thank you, David, for allowing me to use these photographs. There we are. Hi, everybody. How you doing? A very warm welcome to my back garden. So, you're probably wondering what's going on. So, my studio, which is just down the lane, they're upgrading the internet and the Wi-Fi. Hence why I'm here in all of nature's glorified beauty here in Germany. So we've got a busy show as normal. Please feel free to get in touch on YouTube. Drop me your comments. Let me know how you're feeling about today's game against Hearts. I have spoken at length with Gavin Baxter from ABZ, and I give him my thoughts on today's team news. Robbie Hanratty, who's a sports journalist with the Daily Record, he's coming up a little bit later as well. Okay, let's start today's show by predicting the team news. Now, this is the team that I think Jim will pick. It's not necessarily the team that I would like to see take the pitch today. But I do think Connor Barron will come in and start today in place of Marley Watkins. And I think Matty Kennedy will also come in today. So let's see what happens at 1:45, give or take, when Jim decides to pick his team today. Here are the match stats ahead of the game. So Hearts have only won 2 of their last 9 matches across all competitions. Obviously, they're coming into this game after a heavy defeat in Florence. Aberdeen have won their last 5 home matches against Hearts. And the Dons have scored 15 goals from 4 home league games, but we have conceded 5 goals. Today's referee is Don Robertson. So as I said, get your comments in. I'll do my best to read most of them out today. But first, let's introduce our first guest, Gavin from ABZ Podcast. I don't know if you caught up with their podcast this week. The guys were absolutely scathing of Aberdeen's performance at Tannadice last week. So we spoke about a host of topics, including what we think will be the team news. So I spoke to him late last night from inside the house. Here's Gavin from ABZ. Hi, Gavin. It's great to see you. Thank you so much for jumping on. I know you're heading to the game today. So, I have a very simple question to get us going. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the importance of this game?
After last week at Tannadice, it's a solid 9.5 perhaps.
Oh,
9.6.
Okay.
I mean, because Partick Thistle's a 10.
Yeah.
So we'll make this is gonna that's a big test, yeah. Need a huge recovery, a huge statement from the team and the management after that debacle at Tannadice.
Do you think he can start by making a huge statement by being very bold and making a host of changes to the side?
I think it's got to happen. There's too many players in there that have not been performing to the standard of an Aberdeen player that has an aspiration to finish third in this league, for example. Jayden Richardson, I think some of the criticism he's coming for has been a little over the top, but having watched him at Tannadice, he has got a creative way of defending, let's call it that, to be polite. Vinny Bajowan, I think he had a good game at Kilmarnock, but in the league this year has not really been at it. I found him to be hiding a lot last week, which is unforgivable. Watkins didn't make an impact, and I think you've got a suggestion yourself regarding the captain, don't you?
I do. I think it would be very bold and very brave but I think he's got to take the step. I think he's got to bench Anthony Stewart. Now, I know he's our captain. I know he's the leader on our pitch, but I think he is so badly out of form at the moment that I think he needs to be dropped. And I say that sort of through gritted teeth, I have to be honest.
He was very poor. The issue there is, the obvious solution would be to drop McCrory back in there. I thought McCrory had his worst game as an Aberdeen player against against United as well. Jack Milne is the option. We've been very hesitant to put him in there. It would be an enormous statement. I've seen a lot of people suggest we should be moving to a back three for the Hearts game, which on paper sounds good, but I've never seen an Aberdeen team play a back three well. So I've got an inherent nervousness about that. It would be an enormous statement. I don't think it's one he's going to be part of. I can't see him changing Scales and Stewart out if he can avoid it. But it does kind of give me the fear, like the lad Humphreys they have is a very quick, powerful striker. If he can get Stewart facing the wrong way and running at him, it is something that gives you a cause for concern for sure.
I would also be very tempted to drop Vinny. I think he needs to be benched. I wouldn't start Marley Watkins. So for me, it's a case of shoehorning in Conor Barron and Leighton Clarkson and seeing how those lads can fit in and around Ross and Hilber. Maybe play Connor in that number 10 role. I don't know.
I think there's a number of permutations and options you can have there. McCrory, perhaps right back. Very quick, dynamic player, gives us a bit more presence. Someone who can maybe cover for Stewart. Get one of Connor, Leighton Clarkson in beside Yilber, as you say. As I say, Bajowan has not been at it for a long time now for me. I think you can drop him, maybe get Connor Barron playing a little bit further forward. And I've been banging the drum for Ryan Duncan for many a month now, since he first came on against Peterhead. I think there's a real talent there, and I'd like to see him get some real serious game time.
Exactly. Okay, so I listened to your podcast during the week, chuckled a few times.
Thank you.
Because the
power of undiluted rage right there.
I think the emotions were there for all to listen. It was a very good listen. It was a very interesting listen. And I have to say, in all the shows that I've listened to, I don't think I've heard the three of you as a trio be that angry. Have you calmed down?
Well, we're a week removed now, so I'm just about there. But then you asked me to come on this show, and I watched the highlights of Tannadice again. So it's that gave me a little bit of a lift. But no, we're all zen now. We're all calm. We'll move on. Tannadice has been fast. Hearts is now the big game. Partick Thistle Wednesday is an enormous game for us. We need a reaction. I think, as people have said on Twitter, we need players to just look like they care.
Yeah.
That's an embarrassing state of affairs to be in.
Yeah.
And we're going up against a Hearts team who are coming back from a really bruising encounter in Florence. They've been chasing shadows for 90 minutes. They are missing a number of key players. It's not the big squad I associate with Hearts. They're pretty weak. There's not the strength and depth they usually have. We've just got to go into this game and, press home our home advantage. As we talked about beforehand, we've been better at home. We do look like we're going to be a team that are going to, if we're going to be successful, we need to turn Pittodrie into a fortress and take as many points as we can, because it's hard to see where we're going to get an away victory from right now if it's not at McDermott Park, for example.
Yeah. You see, that was going to be my final question. So how do we stop this Jekyll and Hyde type of performance that we seem to have slipped right into?
If I had the answers to that, Ali, I'd be on the phone to Jim Goodwin. I think maybe we need to look at changing the shape when we're away from home to just be that little bit more solid. If that does mean three at the back, two wing backs, get Ilber and a McCrory, or I was going to say Dante Bovara. That doesn't help anything. Sorry, Dante. Something where we can just, focus first and foremost on, not conceding really, really soft goals, because, the 4 goals at Tannadice are all quite easily avoidable. They're not like we got cut apart or cut open. So yeah, maybe a change in shape, maybe just placing the impetus on, like I say, just having a solid base, which then gives us a chance to focus on a counter-attacking team as well. We've got a lot of pace in the team, but yeah, I would think a change in shape and maybe a more, how would you say, conservative personnel.
Okay, mate, you know me, always like to look at the positive side of things. So let's finish the conversation on a
Yes,
positive note. Just give
yes.
me a general feeling and your general thoughts about how you think today's game will go.
Like I say, I do think that we go into this with a certain amount of an advantage. There should be. I mean, if there's not motivation from the players to um, let people know that what they're about and that they are, of the required quality to play for Aberdeen, then we're in serious trouble for the season
Yeah.
as it is. As I say, Hearts have had, a very tough game in Florence. I think I remember hearing they've conceded something like 100 chances in the last 4 games,
Oh,
like 100 shots on goal. And Craig Gordon's not, he's still good. He's still
yeah.
the best keeper we have by a distance, but he's not in the same form he was in last year. If we can go there at Pittodrie and, just get in Hearts' faces, get the ball into their half,
Mm.
pass the ball with a bit more pace, a bit more intent, I do believe we can hurt teams at Pittodrie, and I'm hopeful
And pass the ball
that
forward. Pass the ball
well, yeah, that's
forward.
the thing. I mean, like that was the difference when Clarkson and Barron came on. You had two players that wanted to take the ball in and turn and make things happen.
Yeah.
We need people to just be more positive, be braver on the ball, quite simply. I think we've got a good team going forward. I still do think that. And I think we can hurt Hearts. They are missing key players at the back as well. So yeah, have belief. That's
Yeah.
the key, I think.
Have the faith. Keep the faith. Eh? Okay,
It's
mate,
all
brilliant.
it's all we can do.
So exactly. What else can we do? We've been doing it for so long. Mate, thank you so much. Lovely to see you as always. Enjoy the game today. And fingers crossed for a great performance and a good result, which will take us up to fourth with a game in hand. So,
Fourth place, yes.
yeah, with a game in hand. So you never know. Mate, brilliant to see you. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Alec.
Speak
Pleasure.
to you soon. Bye bye. Bye bye. My thanks to Gavin. Now, if you're not heading to Pittodrie today, this is the front cover from Dolly Digital on today's Matchday programme, featuring Vinny, who I have to say, I think will be benched today, but let's wait and see what happens a little bit later. Right, let's get some of these comments in. Thank you so much for participating so far. Michael Scott has said, good morning. Things can only get better. That's the only way to think and go forward as a fan group and team. John Bleasdale has said, hi John, it's about time we put the boot into a team in bad form. Hearts have struggled in recent weeks and this is a real opportunity for us to be ruthless and take advantage, especially at home. Graham Watt, hi Graham, how are you? He thinks Aberdeen will win 3-1 today. Erica Mitchell, hi Erica, 3 points for the day, hopefully. Kaiser has said, fit like today. He also goes on to say, I've got absolutely no enthusiasm for the game today after last week, which was a killer. Come on, Kaiser. Pick yourself up, fella. Derek Griffiths has said, come on, the Dons. Hearts' form is not good. Hopefully we can take the game to them and stop these silly defensive mistakes. A lot of you are commenting about the team selection. I saw this from Scotty Ladd. He said, Duke, Barron, Clarkson and Kennedy must start today. Duke up front with Miovski, and let's take the game to Hearts. Alan McIntyre has said that he's worried about Anthony Stewart. I think we all are. Shouldn't laugh. Right, keep the comments coming in. I'll do my very best to read out nearly all of them before we finish off today. Right, let's introduce our next guest. So Robbie Hanratty is a sports journalist from the Daily Record, huge Aberdeen fan, also helps with the Dandy Dons page on Facebook. He's heading towards today's game, and before he set off, I caught up with him to chat all things Dons. Hi Robbie, great to see you. Thank you for jumping on this morning. So you're heading to the game later today. Give me your expectations first of all.
Well, after last week, first and foremost, it's just about bouncing back from last week's horror show, really. And we just want to see an improvement in performance because, quite frankly, every player that started that game last Saturday just wasn't at the levels that we've come to expect. And Hearts are off the back of a game in Florence where they really got battered as well. So the expectations on Aberdeen at home to really go out there, put on a show and pick up that 3 points with 1 point only separating the sides in the league.
So, do you think, because of the way we played last week and because so many didn't perform to the level that we expect, do you think that Jim will make wholesale changes or just one or two here and there?
I think he's quite stubborn. There's been a lot of calls to obviously drop the captain, but I don't think he will because and Jane Richardson's also had a lot of criticism this season, but I think because it's his signings, he'll probably back them and you might see Kennedy come in for Watkins or something like that. I'd like to see Duke maybe start, but going by comments Goodwin's made, he sees him more as an impact player. So, and we can't rule out Ramirez as well. I don't like this 9-10 minutes at the end of the game sort of thing. He should be on earlier or if not starting because Miofsky, we know he scored goals at home, but it's a bit concerning some of the misses he has had. So, that question, I think he'll make a couple of changes, but personally, I'd throw in maybe 4 or 5 changes, but I don't think Jim will be that bold. He might surprise us come 1:45, but I'm not too convinced. I'd like to see someone like Ryan Duncan, someone that'll get folk off the seats and play with no fear as well, really.
Obviously, you play a prominent role on the Facebook page. I don't want to dwell too much on the Dundee United game, so I'm guessing people were absolutely up in arms. But in the preceding week, have people started to sort of just calm down after that? And are they now really looking forward to this game, do you think? Is that the sense on the page?
Yeah, it does feel like games against Hearts are always pretty big encounters, and it's one of the games you look forward to in the calendar. And I think we've got a generally good record at home to Hearts. I think I seen a stat; it was like 2016 the last time we lost to them at Pittodrie. So yeah, you've got to kind of just put that behind you and go in with a bit of optimism. To be
Mm.
honest.
It's a big week, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Considering there's a place at Hampden and it's stake on Wednesday, and Partick are no mugs either. So it's like one of these things that you kind of got to like. You want to be. I'm not saying we should expect a settle for a draw today, but you want to be at least not losing today and then winning, getting yourself to Hampden. Because if you don't, and you lose both games, then serious questions got to be asked of the management team. Because I listened to your review show of the United one, and I totally agree. Lee Sharp smirking, and I don't really know what was going on, but I didn't see it at the time. But I understand why in the heat of the moment people would be so irked by seeing the assistant boss. You've just been thrashed by your local rivals, and he's acting in that way. So you want to see just a better attitude all round, really, today from everyone, because the fans have backed him in really good numbers all season. In fans, I think, there was rightly so criticism on Facebook and social media, but I think not just got to abandon the team, they've got to get behind them again today for sure.
Yeah, I think I'm with you, Robbie. I think the backing today will also hopefully help the lads get over the line. Mate, thank you so much for coming on. As always, enjoy the game today. I know you're working there today, so fingers crossed for a decent victory and a good performance, and I'll see you again very soon.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks, mate. Bye, Robbie. Bye, fella. Hi, Robbie. My thanks to Robbie. If you are watching for the first time, I really hope you're enjoying the show so far. Please feel to subscribe to the channel as we edge ever closer to 1,700 subscribers. Thank you so much for your support. This is what the manager has had to say ahead of the game. Our fans will be looking for a reaction after the disappointment of last weekend because we let them down. We're all aware of that. We want to repay the faith that they've put in the team and the effort that they went to last week to travel down the road and support the lads. We want to repay them with a good performance and a good result. Let's read some more of your thoughts. Scotty Lad has actually said, it's a huge game for Jim Goodwin. A bad performance and a drop of points today will have the Wolves circulating. As much as I don't want to agree with you, I think you're right. John Grant has said, one shot on Tiger over 90 minutes last Saturday shows probably not only defence is the problem. Good point. Graham Watt says, I do wonder what Christian Ramirez has to do just to get into the team. He's got to work hard. Kaiser, there's no cover for Richardson, so he's basically got the right back position himself. It will be interesting to see if Jim is bold today and does go 3 at the back and maybe plays Ross McCrory at right back, or sort of on the right hand side of, I don't know, will it be Anthony Stewart, will it be Liam Scales? Let's wait and see. James McCaskill says, good morning. Hi James, how are you? Given the defensive issues, we need to take the game to Hearts, play on the front foot, attack Hearts, and hopefully the defence will be less of a talking point. I agree. So many of you saying, let's get straight at it from the off. Norman will need to be pressuring every ball from kickoff. Can't let Hearts find a rhythm. Force a mistake and hopefully nick a couple of goals. Yeah, again, I agree. If you're just tuning in, hi, how you doing? As you can see, I'm in my back garden. In my studio, the Wi-Fi and the internet is all being upgraded, hence why I am here. And I hope it's not spoiling your viewing pleasure. Right, just before we finish off today, I don't know if you've caught my latest edition of Beg's Banter. Well, I was very fortunate to have caught up with former skipper Graham Shinny a couple of weeks ago. Put the show out. It's done way over 1,000 views already, which is incredible. So thank you again. But one of the questions that I asked him, I know he wasn't very happy at me asking this question, but I wanted to know who was the best player that he played with at Aberdeen. And this was his reaction.
I hate these questions. I get asked these so many times and stuff like this, and I hate them because you obviously have so many players that you could say.
Let's put it this way: who was the most technically gifted player that you played with at Aberdeen?
James Maddison.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Why?
From the day he came in. His feet, his ability in tight spaces is I think you can see obviously now to what he's went on to be. I knew from the day he came in, he was confident. He always wanted the ball. He was a player that could make things happen. He was top quality. But saying that, I loved playing with a midfield of Kenny and Jacko. I know again, people won't be happy with me saying that, but that three in midfield, us three gave so much different things. Jacko was the pivot at the bottom. Kenny could spray passes, get on the ball, run at people, and I was the wee Aberdonian running about trying to get the ball back. But I think the blend of all of that together, that midfield three was very, very good. Johnny was very good. There's so many players that I would hate to miss out, and I will miss out loads of players, and that's why I hate it to that extent. But the most technical one that I'd probably say would probably be James Maddison.
So that's Graham Shinny, Beg's Banter. Sorry, there's a kid on a motorbike just going past. So if you haven't caught up with Graham's show on the channel, it is there, ready for you to watch. Okay, as most of you know, I love my history. So let's tell you what's happened on this day in the club's history. Back in 1966, former Aberdeen defender John Ingalls was born. Today, John celebrates his 56th birthday. 123 appearances for the Dons, scoring 5 goals. Now, what about this? Back in 1937, John Campbell scored the fastest ever goal seen at Pittodrie in a reserve game against Ayr United. The Press and Journal claimed the goal was scored after only 2 seconds. 2 seconds. So apparently it was Dick Donald, our former chairman, who kicked off, laid it off, the ball went up, and Mr. Campbell slotted it home after 2 seconds. I shall leave that with you to ponder. Okay, just before we set off today, I have a bit of a birthday shout out for this chap. It's a very happy 93rd birthday to Haswell Ray, who has supported the Dons all of his life, and he's going to enjoy special hospitality today at Pittodrie, and he is a Gothenburg legend. Haswell, I would like to wish you a very happy birthday. Have a truly wonderful day at Pittodrie today with your family, and let's hope the Dons can make it an even better day for you. Right, just to finish off, let's go through some more of your comments, because plenty more coming in. Thank you for getting in touch. Rob Clark makes a really interesting point. He says, I wonder if Alfie Bavidge will get a chance even to be a sub today. Now, if you're not aware of Alfie, plays for the development team, and he has scored 3 hat-tricks in a row and a double. If he is good enough, he is old enough. It's an interesting point. Let's see what happens today. Okay, Kaiser thinks that Matty Kennedy should come in for Vinny. Yep. Graham Watt has said, January, we will have to go back into the market and find 2 new centre-backs. But he's still going for a 3-1 win for the Dons today. Guys, that is us. We are all done. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've really enjoyed the show today. And I will see you tomorrow night at 9 p.m. for the review show. So all that's left to say is the very best of luck to the Dons. And fingers crossed for a really good performance today. Let's bounce back. Let's get into 4th position, because that'll really kick us on. And then obviously we've got Partick Thistle coming up in the Cup as well. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you again very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.